Hey daydreamers, it's Alex, and today I am sharing with you all of the classics that I have on my TBR. So this is not necessarily a classics I want to read this year video because I really have I'm not going to get to all of these this year, there's too many. But these are just all the classics that I have on my TBR that I own, and I just thought I'd share them with you, and you can let me know which ones are your favourites and which ones I should prioritise. There are a few that I hopefully will read this year because I've got some buddy reads planned and I've got like an audiobook or two, so hopefully I'll get through some. And now I shall show you the books. Okay, so first I have some children's classics. I love children's classics. 3 of my favourite books of all time are children's classics, so I'm always excited to read more and to find more favourites, hopefully, among the children's classics. So I have Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery, Heidi by Joanna Spyri, I think, The Enchanted Castle by E. Nesbit. She wrote one of my favourite books. She wrote The Railway Children, which I adore, so I'm really excited to read this one. And then I have Robin Hood by Henry Gilbert. I live in Nottingham. I feel like I have to read this. I do have one classic that I'm not really sure if it's like adult or children's. I hear some people say it's like the first YA novel ever, so I'll mention it now, and that's The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I'm intrigued by this one, but I don't know when I'll get to this one. I've had it for years and I still haven't read it, so it's not a huge priority, but I am intrigued to give it a try, hopefully one day. So with my like adult classics, I have 2 main lines, I guess, that I collect, and those are the Penguin English Library and the Vintage Red Spines. But I have Evelina by Frances Burney. I'm intrigued in this because apparently she was an inspiration for Jane Austen, so I'm interested to give this one a try. This one also came out, like, it's a really old classic. I think it came out in the 1700s, so that's possibly one of the oldest books I own. And then speaking of Jane Austen, I have all of her books here apart from Northanger Abbey because I've already read that one. So we have Persuasion. These are the vintage Red Spine editions, by the way. We have Emma, which I have read half of and I did really enjoy. I can't remember why I put it down, but I'm really excited to get back to this. We have Mansfield Park, Pride and Prejudice, which Beth and I are going to be buddy reading hopefully very soon, so that's exciting, and Sense and Sensibility. So I've got some more of the Penguin English Library ones. These are books where I just own one unread book by the author, so I just thought I'd show them all together. So I have 1984 by George Orwell. I have read Animal Farm and I did really enjoy that, so I am excited to get to this one day. It is a lot longer than Animal Farm though. Animal Farm was like that long. But I am intrigued to give this one a try. I have A Room with a View by E.M. Forster, and I just got this one the other day, so that's a new edition. Also, this cover is really pretty. I have Lady Audley's Secret by Mary Elizabeth Braddon. I actually don't know much about this one. I just picked it up because I saw it in a charity shop and it was the Penguin English Library book, so I got it. And then we have North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. A large portion of why I bought this book is because the main character has the same surname as me. So next I have some Thomas Hardy books. I have Two on a Tower and Far from the Madding Crowd in the Penguin English Library editions. I really like these, they're really pretty. Most of his books are in these editions, so I'm hoping to get as much as I can in these editions, apart from 2 of them which I have in the Red Spine editions, and that is Tess of the D'Urbervilles and Jude the Obscure. I have ordered a copy but it hasn't arrived yet, and I'm just really excited to read some of his books, and I've heard some of them are really depressing and I just love a book that could make me cry. Next I have 2 books by George Eliot, and that is Silas Marner and Middlemarch. Very, very different lengths here. So I will probably start with Silas Marner and work my way up to Middlemarch. I am excited to read both of these. Once again, They're so pretty. I do love this line. Then I have some Bronte books. So I have already read Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, so she's not on this list because I've read her. But I have The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. I have also read Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte, so it is just this one by Anne that I want to read. I'm really excited to read this one because The Guardian calls it the first feminist novel, and I definitely want to check that out. And then I have some Charlotte Bronte. So I have The Professor. This didn't come in either of the lines I collected, so I just got it in this because it's like a study room with books, obviously. And then we have Jane Eyre in the Red Spines and Shirley in the Penguin English Library. And I want to get more of her books, but I should probably read one first. This is one of Beth's favourite books, so this will probably be the first one of Charlotte Bronte's books that I read. So we're towards the end of the list now, and I've just got some modern classics. At least I think they're modern classics. So I have Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I got this one very recently too. I'm really keen to read it. I've heard lots of good things. And then I have a few books by Douglas Adams. I've read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. Now I have Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. I have The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul. And I have The Salmon of Doubt. And I'm excited to read those because I do really like Douglas Adams. And we are now up to my, oh dear, Agatha Christie collection. I've very recently, well, in the last like 2 years, got into Agatha Christie. I love her books so much and I want to read all of them. I have read one book by her so far that I didn't really like, and that was Destination Unknown. That was one of the standalones. So I currently own books 7, 8 and 9 in the Miss Marple series. So we have A Pocketful of Rye, we have 450 from Paddington, and we have The Mirror Cracked from Side to Side. So I'm hoping to read these soon. This is a series, the Marple series is a series of hers I'm currently reading, and I want to finish it before starting the Poirot series. I do have some books from the Poirot series. So I have like just random ones for some reason. I don't have like books 1 to 5. I have 5 books, but they're random ones. So I do have book 1, The Mysterious Fair at Styles. I have book 2, which is The Murder on the Links. I have book 3. Wow, I do actually have a decent run of them. This one I have in a different edition, and I don't know which set I want to collect yet. It would make sense to collect this set because I have 4 of them in this set. But I have Poirot Investigates. I do like this set, but then I also like this set, so I don't really know. And then I have Poirot Investigates has a handy list on the back, so I'm checking that. I have book 10 and the most famous, Murder on the Orient Express, obviously. And then I have book 12, which is Death in the Clouds. I got this one because it had a wasp on the front and it reminded me of the Doctor Who episode with Agatha Christie in. But obviously I want to read them all, so I was going to get it anyway. So those are my Poirot books. I need to finish Miss Marple before I get to these. And then my last Agatha Christie book is like a collection of short stories, and I got it because it was such a pretty edition and I really do want to read it. And that is Midwinter Murder. I want to get to this soon because it's wintry, obviously. Actually, it's meant to snow this week, so that might be a really great time to read it. But this contains how many? I think it contains 12 short stories, and I love Agatha Christie, so I want to read everything by her. Also, it's got gorgeous end papers. Like, this edition is just so beautiful. It's by HarperCollins if anyone's interested in it. So that is my classics TBR. Those are all the classics that are on my TBR. There are more in the world that I want to read, but I don't own them. Like, I want to, assuming I like the Thomas Hardy books I have, I want to read all of his collection. There are definitely other books I want to read. if I like the Elizabeth Gaskell book, I'll read more of hers. There's another Jane Austen book that I didn't realise existed that I still need to get. I'll put the picture here because I can't remember the name. But yeah, let me know what your favourite classics are, especially children's classics because they're my favourite. Oh, just remembered, I do also have like the last 2 books in the Borrowers series that I haven't read. I've read the first 4. I haven't read the last 2. So I want to read those at some point, but I want to reread the first 4, so that's why it's not happened yet. But yeah, that is it from me today. Keep an eye out for more videos later in the week from my lovely co-channelers. And I will see you next time.